On the way to work this morning, I shot a video that I titled, Life is a Game. It is a game. The game of life, like it's called in the Kybalion, and later Florence Scovel Shinn titled her first book, The Game of Life. It is a game. In that video, I was wanting to make the point, and I think I did, but I was wanting to make the point that this world is illusionary. As illusionary as playing a video game, the video game you're playing, you are playing a video game. But the video game itself and the character you're playing in that video game is not real, but it's still your avatar. So it's part of you. It's an extension of you. Just like your human self, your human ego, all that, it's an extension of the true you, and the true you is consciousness. Some people call it a spirit or soul or whatever, but it's consciousness. When you're watching a movie, you get into the movie, or a television show, or a play, you get into it. You really get into it. You get into the characters and things like that. But you know the play or the TV show or the movie is actually real. It was filmed. It was, acted out, all these things. But you know that it actually is not real. It's symbolic. And this world is symbolic. That's why in mysticism, just about everything in the occult and mysticism is tied to how things reflect back and symbolize this and symbolize that. Whether it's numbers or a mountain or a tree or a fish, it has a symbol. Everything is symbolic. Sacred geometry, all the different geometric shapes and things like that symbolize things. Everything turns back and looks back at itself. Because there is only the one mind, the one primeval source that we call source. Or the all. Some people call it the universe, some people call it God. But it is consciousness. In this world is just a reflection of that, and it's a seemingly dual world. It kind of stretches itself out. It's like stretching bubble gum. It's still one piece of bubble gum, but it's stretched out and it has two ends. It creates a polarity, and that's what we have in this world. That's why we can experience not just temperature, which is one, but cold and heat, all the degrees in between. Light and dark, bitter and sweet, high, low, heavy, light, etc. Weight is just heavier or light in all the degrees or weights within. So that's what this world is. In this world, you want to seek a balance. The Sophia, the Baphomet. You want to find that wise balance in this world. You don't want to be so aloof that, I don't have to eat or drink, or, I'm following this spiritual aesthetics, and I don't have, sex except for just for procreation, or, I only eat bread and water, or I only eat plants, or, whatever. I don't drink alcohol, or I don't say fuck, shit, damn, hell, bitch, whatever. Or I don't hate. I don't have any hate. I love everybody, which is bullshit. But anyhow, that's a topic for another video. But the point is experiencing this life, but realizing, just like the video game and the movie that you're watching, it's not the truth. It's not real. And this video I'm going to title something that has the words in it, there is no problems and there are no solutions. Yesterday on the way home, I was listening to a YouTube video. I just listened to different random things. If it has anything to do with metaphysics, spirituality, psychology, that kind of stuff. If I'm not listening to music or history stuff. And I'm big into the whole, Giza pyramids, the buildings in India, the temples there. Go back to Tepe, to Stonehenge, to Atlantis.
Ryan Justin has breakfast for you.
Hey, they just brought me breakfast. 10-4. My co-workers love me. But anyhow, what I want to get at is that there is no problems and no solutions. And I was listening to this lady, and she was talking about, she's spiritual, and she's talking about that, epigenetics. Now, I have a video on this channel. Check it out. I have a video on this channel where I talk about the book that I read by Bruce Lipton about epigenetics. And I talk about that. Oh, he's bringing me my breakfast. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me? There's my biscuit. And he even got me a pick-me-up double energy drink. Anyhow, there are no problems and there are no solutions. It's an illusion that there are. Like you think, well, there's a problem I need to take care of, or I need to heal myself. or whatever. Whether it's using epigenetics or whatever it is to solve some problem you have. You have trauma in your life. Well, it came from you. So you have to find out, well, that's a problem. I have trauma. I can't get over this issue, or I can't manifest this thing because I have this trauma. So now you chase problems around. Okay, where did trauma come from? Okay, when I was a child, this happened, that happened. Okay, what did that cause within my mind? Blah, 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 my brain, blah, blah, blah. Or the trauma happened just last year, and da, 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 da. Yes, we have experiences in this life, absolutely. But you're always constantly trying to find a problem and problem solve. So you're always trying to find a problem or a cause and a solution. You're always trying to find a cause and a solution. That's probably what I'll put in the title of this video. You're always trying to either find a cause for something or a solution for something. But once you become awake, truly spiritually or metaphysically awake, as God, as within your human self, within the human lucid dream, you awaken that you're actually God dreaming yourself, dreaming your human self. That's what's going on. When you wake up, you realize there really are no problems. There's no causes or solutions. You can look for a cause and you'll find a cause. People will say, I don't know what caused this or caused that, and you can look for a cause, and or you can be looking for a solution. But when you become metaphysically awake and awaken within this lucid dream and awaken within the matrix, this mental game of life matrix, this earth game, this human game, but you're actually consciousness, what people call God, or a soul or a spirit, but your consciousness, and you awaken, you realize there really are no problems. Those are illusions. And there really are no causes of those problems. There's really no solutions to seek for. So there's no problems, there's no causes, there's no solutions. There's just you, consciousness. Now, some people think, well, my epigenetics, I can change this if I change my genetic DNA strand by changing the way I think. That's what Bruce Lipton talks about in his book. And people always these spiritual people give you these ways to do things. Like people give people techniques to manifest, okay? They'll give this, all that is just putting you in a state of mind of that thing as being real and already happened, that you already got the job you need, or the money, or the healing, or the happy marriage, or the puppy dog, or the green bicycle you've been looking for, or the tickets to the hard to get tickets for a concert you're wanting to go to. You already be in the state of already having that. Just to give it to yourself, feel fulfilled. And the way you do that, and what helps make that so easy, is when you realize, and I've discovered this through reading, studying. I had to hear it and read it over and over from old books, and hear it from good teachers on YouTube, and old books on metaphysics and manifesting, and I finally got it. I finally understood, is that it's all an illusion. There are no problems, there's no causes, and there's no solutions. You simply imagine what you want. You have an issue in your life, a so-called problem. You realize it's not really a problem. I just change. I know what I don't want. I don't want this problem. I don't want this thing, right? I want that. You find out what you don't want, helps you find out what you do want, right? So it's helping you to choose, because all we are is consciousness playing a human game with all kinds of humans. We're all just the one consciousness, and we play our human character in this matrix, in this game of life, and we get to choose what we'd rather experience. You don't have to figure out the cause of the problem, the source of the problem. You don't have to psychoanalyze yourself unless you want to do that. You don't have to worry about trying to change your epigenetics. You don't have to worry about changing your diet. You don't have to do something to get, work a side job or whatever to get more money. You don't have to do anything unless you feel guided and inspired to do so, because you're already in a state that's a done deal anyway. So don't think of things as problems. Don't think of things as monsters. Don't think of them as things you need to find solutions for, or you got to trace down the causes, because you always find causes. If you look, you'll find it. It's like Tom Campbell, the quantum physicist or the nuclear physicist who believes this stuff and talks about this stuff. He wrote a book called My Big Toe, or My Theory of Everything, TOE being the acronym. Great book. I read it. I've bought a couple copies as gifts for people. He said, people ask, the whole philosophical question, if a tree falls in the forest and there's no human there to hear it, does it make a sound? And his answer is, there's not even a forest if the human isn't looking at it. Now, the double slit experiment, and if you don't know what that is, you can Google it or DuckDuckGo it, you can YouTube it or whatever, but the double slit experiment, which has been done numerous times over through the decades by scientists, has proven that reality is based on observation. There must be an observer. So your awareness of being is your observation. You're not the thinker, but you're observing the thoughts. You're observing the thinking. You're not the person that has the feelings. You're observing the feelings that come within the human body, your human avatar, or your human, the thoughts that come through your human brain. Because you are the human, just like you're the character in a video game. You are, that it is an extension of your awareness self. So where you put your awareness is actually how you work, like on a video game, you work the toggles and stuff. I don't play video games, but I have a lot of loved ones that do. But with the toggles and the control switches is simply the awareness. Where you put your awareness, that single eye, that Illuminati eye that you see, in the middle of the pyramid, that's you. That's the God eye. That's the third eye. And where you put your third eye and you focus it. I have wealth, I have health, I have this, I have that. No, this works out great. All right. This morning, my supervisor was getting on my nerves, and I just wanted to do my job, and he was getting on my nerves. I let it come, and I let it go. All right, he's irritating me. I text my wife, he's getting on my nerves again. But I let it go. I don't need to show him up or argue with him or anything like that. There's no solutions you need to look for. You don't need to look about causes. Well, why do I get irritated with what he says? Because in the past I had bad bosses or something? It doesn't matter. I had a bad dad or some shit. No, it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about psychoanalyzing. You don't have to look for causes. You don't have to look for problems. You don't have to look for causes. You don't have to look for solutions. Simply look for the things that you choose, the realities you want to experience. That's all you have to do. There is no solutions that you need to find, no causes for the problems, no problems themselves. When you begin to realize this is a game, this life is a game, all you got to do is focus on, this is what I'd rather have. Oh, I don't have enough money for that? Oh, I have money for it, and I've already bought it, already paid for it, already got it, already experienced that thing, or whatever it is. And just give it to yourself within yourself. Just accept it as the feeling of acceptance, like it's done, like Neville Goddard taught. It's already done. You don't have to worry about it. That's why Neville Goddard never taught all this stuff about how to become more spiritual, or that you had to give up something or figure things out or psychoanalyze yourself or heal your trauma or calm down your nervous system. You can do all that stuff if that's part of what you enjoy doing. Go for it. But you don't have to do anything but change your awareness. That's why some people get wealthy and they don't work hard at all. Other people, they like to work and they enjoy it. And they get money. Maybe they don't get wealthy, but they're happy. Whatever the situation. Some people love to work out and eat a certain way. They really like eating a certain way. And they get health and have a nice body and fitness and all that. And some people don't care to do that, but yet for some strange reason, they can eat what they want and everything, but they're healthy, they're fit, and they're happy. And they look great. Other people, I got to work out, I got to eat right. And they're always struggling with their health, their weight, and all this, that, and the other, because you're trying to force things. You're trying to find solutions. You're trying to find causes and solutions. Stop doing any of that. Just choose the reality you want. And every day, the different things you want to be real. The little daily things to what we call big things. That's all you have to do. There are no causes, but you can look for them and you'll find them. And there are no solutions, and you may find the solutions. You may not. You may have to really, really struggle with the solutions. Or you can live life in ease, as the Chinese Tao Te Ching talks about Wu Wei, effortless living, and Hermetic mysticism. They talk about flow. That's what I want. Not to fight with anything, struggle with anything. I'll have to find out the causes of why do I feel this way about this, or why do I have this issue with that. It doesn't matter. If you're afraid of spiders, you can look, back in the time I was scared, but why spiders, I was bit by a spider when I was a kid. Or a good one, Dianetic Memory, that's in the book by the Scientologist guy, I forgot his name, L. Ron Hubbard. And the example that, you may find a person who's scared of dogs and things like that. It's because when they were a little child, a dog bit them. Whether they remembered or not, they were 4 years old, remember or not, they have this memory, and so they have this fear of dogs, and they don't know why, right? You don't have to chase all that down unless you want to. You don't have to chase down the cause to say, I no longer fear dogs, or I no longer fear spiders. I shit you not, it works. And you will find that this life really is just a game. And you don't have to find causes, and you don't have to find solutions. You don't have to fight monsters. You don't have to problem solve. All you have to do is choose what you want to be true for you and let it happen. And if any actions you have to take, or any actions other people have to take on your behalf, or situations, physical or earthly situations you have to take to change, they will happen. And you will take your actions anyway. It will all happen naturally. And that is the flow, that is effortless living, That is Wu Wei, effortless action. Some more stuff I want to add to this video. Rudolf Steiner, a mystic from the early 1900s, late 1800s, he talked about the Luciferian age. He talked about the age of Ahriman. Ahriman was the version of Satan or a devil in Zoroastrianism. And he talked about the age of Ahriman. And the idea of Ahriman is that he's like, the Zoroastrian devil is like real earthly, real, the spiritual people know this term, dense, real, like, it's everything is about materialism, about physicality, everything. There's no spiritual mind whatsoever. Luciferian age is you're extremely spiritual to the point you're love and light and, blah, blah, blah. Then he talked about the Christ age. And what he meant by the Christ age was a balance between the Ahrimanic mind, the very materialistic, earthly, only the physical world type shit, like atheists and stuff talk about. And then the woo-woo and the very spiritual, or the Christians are like, I don't care about this life, I just want to die and be with Jesus type of people, right? Or the people that are into Buddhism or Hinduism or something, or they're just so spiritual-minded, whatever, woo-woo shit. New Ager types that do that stuff, everything. The extremes, right? The Christ mind in Steiner's theosophy is what he called it. Theosophy, his philosophy, which he called theosophy, was... The balance was the Christ mind. It was a balance between the very materialistic and the very spiritual. And that's something I want to get at. There are people that are so spiritual, you can't drink alcohol, you can't say a bad word, you can't do this, which I don't believe there's such thing as bad words. It's ridiculous. There's bad communication, there's lying, there's gossiping, there's deception, things like that. There's things you don't talk about in front of children, stuff like that. But I don't believe in such thing as bad words. That's a bizarre concept for me. Always has been, even when I was a Christian. There's nowhere in the Bible that talks about bad words being, there's bad words. It talks about profane or unholy speech, but it doesn't talk about any particular words are bad. It's just dumb. Anyhow, I don't want to get off on that. But the balance in between, there are people so spiritual that they believe certain mystics and stuff, mysticism, and there's people to this day that believe that the man should not ejaculate or come unless he's trying to have a child and impregnate the woman. When he can have as much sex as he wants, but he can't ejaculate because he's losing his divine fluid. And they have all these mystical ways of explaining that's how the fall of Adam was in the Bible, was he lost his divine fluid because he ejaculated when he wasn't supposed to. There is some fucked up shit that people teach. You're supposed to be spiritually minded. You're supposed to be spiritually minded. And that's just what happens when people, that's the extremes of what people, so there's some extremes out there of people, what people do because they're trying to find a cause. Well, this must cause the problems. A man ejaculated, so he's losing his spiritual energy. I mean, you drink alcohol or you eat meat or you say a bad word or you hate someone or you're angry. Oh, you're not very spiritual. That kind of shit, right? Or you don't worship the right God or something. Anyhow, people have all these rules. They're trying to find a cause for the problems and the struggles you have, right? So they come up with all kinds of these fucked up solutions. Now, I want to get back to the epigenetics thing. It's an interesting study. It's really cool. It means that you can change your genetics, your actual DNA, by your thinking. And that's pretty neat. All right, another thing that I'm interested in and I think is cool is a thing called German New Medicine. It was Dr. Hammer from Germany. And it's about things in your body, like if you have problems with your male or female, if you have problems with your sexual organs and things like that, it can be tied to, you're a parent and you had separation anxiety from your child. One of your children died early or something like that, so it causes, breast cancer, or on a man, testicular cancer. Liver could be based on because you have some unresolved anger or your heart, unresolved stress or things like that. Cancer comes up because of this, that, and the other. It's really cool. And all that is the world reflecting back to you in the seemingly dual world, reflecting back to you. So sometimes you can use the epigenetics, but you can use all these different tools. You can use these things. It's like people talk about manifesting techniques. They're tools to help you learn, but eventually you will outgrow all that stuff. You will, as you grow in your understanding that you're God. And you don't need manifesting techniques. You don't need Neville Goddard's state akin to sleep technique or his telephone method or these different techniques that people have come up with manifesting, or your vision board thing. I did a vision board when I first was testing this stuff out, and it kind of worked for me. The affirmation type thing, all that kind of stuff, like Joseph Murphy taught, these affirmations and things like that. Those are manifesting techniques. Well, it's the same thing as techniques as finding out, if you have a medical issue. Toward German New Medicine, it's pointing to the fact that you have unresolved traumas or something like that, right? And that helps you to be aware of the state you're in, because there's nothing but states. Neville talked about there's nothing but consciousness and there's nothing but states. What he meant was the different states of mind are different perceptions within mind, within consciousness. Your different states you have about money, different states you have about whatever your state that you believe in currently, about money, about sex, about spirituality, about cars. Okay, about men, about women, about, I don't know, health, anything, right? Your state of mind, how you see things. Well, money comes and money goes. Money's hard to get by, or come by, or you got to really struggle to be healthy, or, women all suck. They're all bitches and whores and cunts, or men are all assholes and pieces of shit, and, and all this kind of stuff. These states of mind, or, there's good men out there, and, you want to marry one, or there's good women out there, you want to marry one, right? Okay, I have bad luck with cars, or I always have good luck with cars. Cars just always work out for me. Even if in the past you've had all these cars that were just never worked out for you, you got lemons and everything as far as cars go, and you start saying, you know what, I have good cars. I always have good cars. I have good luck with cars. And you're in the state of mind, you start looking at it that way, no matter what comes up, you say, okay, I feel this doubt or this worry or, anxiety from the past of how I used to look at things. Look at cars, or look at the opposite sex, or whatever, or health. But now I'm just going to say, you know what, I'm just healthy, or I'm happily married, or I own a great car, or money is easy to come by and always have an abundance of it. You can change your states. So there's nothing but mind and there's nothing but states. And you get to choose. There's the polarity of the extremes, and then the gauges or degrees within. Those are all states of how you feel about any different topic. How you feel about your neighbor, your coworker, or whatever, person you have an argument with, whatever. How you view. Change how you view, and they will show up differently for you. Change how you view things, your perception, which is to change a state of consciousness. There's nothing but consciousness and nothing but states. Well, that was another thing that when I got that down, it really helped me understand. But I had to understand that there is really nothing but consciousness, and this world is just a mind game. Not a mind fuck, unless that's the way you want to look at it. Like, life is horrible, it sucks, and all this, that, and the other. Can't wait till Jesus comes, or, whatever. Or a meteor of death comes and sets us all free. Things like that. Or you can say, you know what? This life is awesome, and I have a lot of fun here, and I enjoy my life, and all of that. You just change your perception. I did. Change your perception, and the outward world on its own. It's like, whoa, what the fuck? Everything's just changing. It's just like for the better. Everything is just so much easier and fun. And that's when you begin to realize the whole concept that you are God. You're the God of your world, your little human world, let's say. You're the God of the character you're playing. And when you get to do that, when you understand that and you see it, no one's going to change your mind. And you will find out you don't need to be looking for causes or solutions. If you still need to look for causes, you got to get into German New Medicine or look into epigenetics, or, do some, I don't know, looking back in your past, or, whatever you have to do to help yourself get into a state, or techniques you have to use to manifest something. Those are tools to help you. But eventually, when you were a child, you spoke and acted as a child. But when you became an adult, you put away childish things. You begin to realize, I'm God. I can simply just change how I see this thing and accept that it's now my reality, no matter what's going on right now. No matter what my bank account or the doctor report or whatever says, I have changed, start seeing the world as I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm happily married, I'm this, blah, blah, blah. I get along with this guy I used to argue with all the time. Whatever it is, and you're going to find. You don't have to look for causes, and you don't have to look for solutions. You don't have to look for techniques. You don't have to look for anything. And I mentioned about my interest in ancient history and astrology, kind of interesting, but I mean archaeology and anthropology and things like, Atlantis, Lemuria, and the ancient societies and things that they've been finding and keep finding. I find it all that interesting. But at the same time, how do I know there actually is a true history? How is that stuff just not put in this video game to make us characters, us Free Guy? If you've ever seen that movie, Free Guy, it's cool. It's funny. How do we know that stuff just put here to kind of wink at us and say, hey, history's not what you think it is, and it will never be what you think it is. And that's the thing. When you're looking for solutions, you're always going to find some other issue. Genetics, when it comes to quantum physics and atoms and subatomic particles and everything. You're always going to just keep finding more questions. You're not going to find more answers. So what you want to do is, once you realize that you are God, you just decide what is true for you. And it'll be true.